Welcome back to the So-So School. My name is Andrew Santamonica, host and instructor of So-So seminars, Socratic seminars with people representing different areas of knowledge. The title of our discussion is Knowing the Answers. All of the Andrews have prepared their seminar outlines, so we are ready to begin. Back in our orientation, if someone fails to complete their seminar outline on time, they cannot participate in the seminar. They do have the option to redeem their seminar points in a makeup seminar of the same topic with the entire staff. The staff are extremely skilled. If you cannot finish that outline by another due date, no makeup points, no points. The best seminars are always with the ones who are completely prepared. Now, let's begin. According to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, one definition of the word answer is, or means, something spoken or written in reply of a question. However, another similar definition, which we will be discussing more of, is a correct response. So, in your own words, what is your definition of an answer? A set of solutions. Solutions being specific variables that solve a particular problem or question to a degree. Sometimes I think there's just one solution. Other times there are more than one answer. There may be alternative choices, permutations that will lead to the same result. There's also a chance of no solution, the empty set, where the answer is no answer. But as to how these solutions are collected and accepted is a matter of debate. What makes an answer universally right is a matter of debate. However, I do believe that not every observable answer does not always have to be 100% right or 100% wrong. I do see variants of fuzzy logic, unlike the binary system, or crisp logic, some may call it. It is ambiguous if the answer is an answer, or just an answer without seeing how right it is. Both possibilities are accepted as solutions, with the first option being the most definite of an answer, and the second one being general. It's kind of like the general solution with like a differential equation, and then having an initial value and plugging it in. Anyone? I see it as a true statement. Everything in the world is a pool filled with Y or N. Either a Y for yes, if that's true, or an N for no way. Only two answers, with Y being the answer. If we go back to the conventional approach, we have assigned truth values to any statement with crisp logic. Fuzzy logic, to me, looks like a way of observing uncertain information. However, according to one of Scientific American's articles, scientificamerican.com, what is fuzzy logic? A few special-purpose microprocessors have been built that do fuzzy operations directly in hardware, but even these use digital binary, 0 or 1 signals at the lowest hardware level. Anything vague is constructed by ones and zeros. Technologically speaking, there is an objective truth in the core, but very complex in the client's perspective. In the semantic mode, there is no such thing as true uncertainty. There are just certain things that people are not certain about at this time. Algorithms and methods that are yet to be made known. More specifically, real-life processors that make the fuzzy arguments made of crisp material to a larger, crisp result. As much as there is a literal definition of an answer, I see it as something that is closure whether or not things are exact. There is some sort of denouement to the question narrative. How exact an answer is can affect how much of an answer it is. But as long as it closes the situation, it stops the airflow, it is going to be solid. That's what matters. That's what I think it matters. That's what I think matters. For me, answers can be hypotheses. With evidence, answers can be equivalent to a hypothesis. The validity of the hypothesis can change throughout the course of history. So, the answer would have to be the most recent, backed up response that we people have today. Anything less than that is an incomplete or weak answer. It cannot be taken seriously, it cannot be tested. So anything less than that, yeah, that's a weak answer. It's not a strong answer. It is not a wrong answer per se. It just cannot be a hypothesis. The answer as hypothesis satisfies both the two basic definitions of an answer and an answer. But even those definitions are blurry in some subjects. Thank you everyone for answering your definition of an answer. For our next question, why don't you have all the answers? Because it is physically impossible to contain all the answers. There are some people who have more answers than others. Sometimes it costs a fair share of money. Information is not always shared or distributed fairly, but this raises questions on security. Some answers are never meant to be discovered, nor will they ever be discussed. Some answers are very nascent, so the influx of information, including the whys and ends, are being discovered as we speak. Technology helps us find those answers. Of course, people need to make the answer known through technology for someone to have them. You go first. Okay, go first. Okay, got it. Okay. Yeah, this may be because me as a student haven't observed all the answers. If I were to have access to answers, then I would have the answers. However, the sheer number of answers cannot be accessed even in a lifetime. As a result, having all of the answers would not be possible. Having some answers is completely possible though. Quantifying answers is a little subjective if I do say so myself. It's just like quantifying questions. I liked how you mentioned how you discussed that you can find some answers, which is nice because I remember back when I took my philosophy class about logic, some and all. Yeah, you can have some because there exists some answers that you can get. So for me, first, there is a lack of closure from many things that surround us. Second, answers are hard to come by nowadays with more questions that appear. So we have to remember that other type, the other thing, the questions. We have to remember about the rising questions that exist. They set narrative upon narrative. We have to remember that importance. Thus, the rate of finding those answers is much less than the rate in finding more questions. There's a mismatch, or there's a bit of an imbalance as more questions that appear. Right. Well, we also have to consider that we can only access and retain so much information. Forget about all the answers. It is already hard enough to recognize more than 6 to 7 digits without condensing the information or finding a way to make more connections, right? There are many limitations that we individuals have in regards to absorbing crucial information. So how much more difficult is it to gain answers from the world around us, which we have to process on a regular basis? However, there are human Googles out there who have neurological conditions that help with recall. So, in short, I don't have the answers because I'm not like Google. And that isn't to say that Google's always reliable. I would just like to say that all of you have very unique responses, different approaches that will be very helpful to different people. For our last question today, we invite you to discuss the nuances of unanswered questions. There is value in unanswered questions. That's what makes it captivating. People are more aware of mysteries. It becomes a loop in finding more answers. Finding the answers. People are engaged. There is more joy in those questions. I am not saying that we are going to get joy in all those questions. It just means that it can be more captivating than an answer. Oh yeah, I get the nuance. Unless impossible may be the answer, we can say that there is no answer because there is no solution set, or we can say that the answer set has an undefined variable, no solution that exists. For any question, there is an answer that is possible in a different way. Just like in complex numbers, there was a model for that kind of thing. We also have to consider the value that each answer has to contain. Some questions are not worth answering. If they were worth answering, they would have already been answered by now. This value can be changed through time, sometimes in a way that is irrational. Perhaps people agree on the more popular answer from the same question. So there is no surprise that some answers hold different values. Some hypotheses may be unsolved, but that is the best that was brought up. Sometimes that is as far as we can get with the resources that we have. People continue to access more information, both previous and undocumented. All right, for our next topic, it will be about paradoxes. As you see on the screen, we have a list of paradoxes. So your assignment is to list, or rather, find a paradox and answer these two questions. What does this paradox mean to you? And what can you learn from paradoxes? Thank you, everyone, and continue to study, and we will see you in a few more weeks. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Viewers, once again, feel free to comment whatever you would like to hear, or even response from these different Andrews, these different participants. So thank you for your cooperation. We'll continue to have our seminars, and we'll see you next time. Hello everyone, thank you for joining on such late notice. It's time that one of us in our staff join the next seminar. Let's have you, Abstract, if you can go ahead and join our next seminar. We'll be ready to help and to challenge these Andrews. Okay, that's about it.